Hey guys, welcome back to the Waterlad Podcast. Honestly, how good has it been the last few weeks having these genuine superstars of our game coming on and openly sharing their stories. And even today, guys, guests do not get much bigger than him. But before we get to it, if you have been enjoying this podcast, please continue to share it. It is very much appreciated. Or if you listen to it on Apple, go give it a 5-star review. Apparently that helps out heaps as well. But if you really love the podcast and you've got a business which is keen to grow, then now is your chance, as we are looking for sponsors to partner up with Waterlad for season 3, which is going to be bigger and better than ever. A great opportunity for you to hit the ears of all the massive lads, male and female, from around the world who tune into this podcast. If you are keen, get in touch through waterlad.com or the Instagram page. But anyway, that's enough from me. Let's get to the real star of the show. Roll the intro.
What a lad, what a lad, what a lad, what an absolute lad. What a lad, what a lad, what a lad, what an absolute lad.
What a lad. Today, guys, I'm honoured to be in the presence of greatness. Not only is he one of the greatest Hurricanes of all time, he has also been consistently one of the best players in the world, where he has dominated the international scene with the All Blacks. But what really sets this lad apart is what he's done off the field. He's created a personal brand, he's hosted one of the best podcasts to exist, and he sells some of the best clothes on the market. He's even been his own agent, where he's been able to sign himself on with New Zealand Rugby for another 4 years. This man is leading the way and inspiring many, including myself. It is the great lad, the very great lad, Ardie Savea. Welcome, brother.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on, my man. Shit,
Mate.
you know more than myself than I know myself, bro.
Mate, you've just done so much in your career already, man. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful to be where I am today, bro, and just trying to be me while I'm at it and be authentic. So yeah, the process and the journey's been pretty cool so far.
And what you've done around inspiring other athletes and other people has been so massive, including myself. I remember when I was looking to set up this podcast, you were the one who really gave me the confidence to jump in, because I remember hitting you up because I wasn't sure if it would be, stepping on your toes or jumping into the same sort of space. And I remember you just giving me the full confidence to just go at it, get after it, and been enjoying it ever since.
Bro, man, it's awesome to see you jump on and do it. I remember the conversation and jumping the mics off to you when you were staying in Lower Bay.
Yeah.
Man, it's awesome to see it's kicking off and the lads jumping on board. I think it's important too to have like a platform like you, bro. It's a safe space for us athletes to come. If someone else was to ask me to jump on, I'll be more declined to do it. But when you have the Uso, doing his thing, of course.
Mate, obviously really appreciate that, because like you're a massive, and you have been a massive influence for, like I say, a lot of people, including myself. But not just in the podcast world, you've also recently just been your own agent, signed for another 4 years.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this whole process.
Bro, it was pretty crazy. Like, it started off as a thought, and obviously all players like myself and Pere, we talk around like how players can be better and getting what they're worth in contract deals. And I reached the point in my career where I was like, I experienced and kind of knew a lot of what went in on the contract and picked up on what my agent was doing. And I thought, man, if it was a time to try and do it, it would be now, especially with the timing around how I was playing. And, I had a lot of leverage to negotiate. So talked to my wife. She wasn't really keen on it. She just thought I was being bots. But yeah, I kind of just did it, and went through the process, bro. I to be honest, I just wanted to sit at the table and to be able to hear the news from New Zealand Rugby firsthand, instead of having like a middleman to me do that. So it was more to have a seat at the table and actually like just fight for myself, and really, which is hard to do because it's in our natural nature to not talk ourselves up.
Yeah.
But in terms of negotiating your contract, you kind of have to, and that's something that I had to get comfortable with, bro. So yeah, the process was mean, challenging as well, but like really kind of like glad I did it, because I learned so much just in that process.
Did you always feel comfortable at the table and stuff when you're talking about your contract?
Like, because we obviously would catch up at cafes with the dude that I was negotiating with, But before I'd get in, I would like sit in my car and I'd be like, okay. I pray. I'll be like, Lord, give me the words and the wisdom. Go in there and whatever happens, it's your doing and it's whatever you want. So I went in there and then it was just free flowing. And to be honest, the NZRU guys were actually really, really kind of good because obviously they knew to negotiating it. So
Yeah.
they made the process a lot easier and kind of better. But there were times when I challenged them and we pushed and it got heated and there was debates. So yeah, bro, it was me. It was cool.
That is cool. Did you have any other offers that you were bouncing between, or was it just purely going with New Zealand Rugby to start?
Yeah, well, it was New Zealand Rugby to start, bro. We're happy here in Wellington, so it was more so getting that security and that bag while we can. And also there's stuff that I want to achieve here as well, and the Canes jersey and the black jersey if I'm lucky enough. So there's always been NZRU, bro, but kind of and around the super side, like obviously with Moana Pacifica, it was kind of like that kind of popped in my mind, and that's probably one of the reasons why I signed with the Canes till 23, just to keep my options open.
Yeah. And what other clauses have you got in the contract? Did you get right down to the detail? Any sabbaticals, any out clauses, any crypto?
But to be funny, towards the end, because to be fair, like shout out to my man Wazza, he kind of, when I was on end of tour, kind of went back to him and asked if he could kind of help me close the deal off and look at the intricacies in the contract. So he kind of helped close that deal. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much I asked Wazza in one of my one-off payments if I could have half in Bitcoin. And he was like, mate, I got to be like, no way. I was like, oh shit. At least I tried. Yeah, post World Cup in 24, I have a option to go and play offshore, obviously in Japan for 6 months. And if that's an option, if I don't do that, bro, I have an option just to take the whole Super Rugby off, 6 months off footy, and just have a break with the family. So yeah, a few options there, bro, which is pretty nice, and I'm real privileged and honoured, bro, to actually have that.
Mate, you sound like you've absolutely nailed your contract. I love that. Where was Ardie Savea, the agent, when I was playing?
Oh, nah. But, bro, like, to be honest, it only happened, and I was only able to be able to negotiate just from talking to other players. Yeah. Because obviously with agents, they know who's on who, what's on what. So they're able to, like, put you where I didn't have that information. So a lot of it was around, like, shout out to the boys that helped me along the way. I can't name them, but I kind of knew where everyone was at and where I kind of fit. And you know what I mean? So
not there, right at the top, bro.
Like those lads helped out as well. And it just shows, bro, when players start talking amongst each other in a safe space, the players have the power.
That's so cool. And talk to me about the video. That video I watched was one of the best watches I've seen. Obviously, acting classes have been going well. Some of the best stuff.
Oh, mate. Lucky you're not at the Canes at the Elfake video. I would have been ripped to shreds.
No, I love that one. It was so good.
But it was actually, I actually was inspired by Bobby Wagner. He's an NFL player. And he negotiated his contract, and he did something similar when he announced his signing. So, knowing me, mate, I was just like, I'm out the gate sometimes with my ideas. So I just like, fuck, I'm going to do it. Mate, so I just did it.
So cool. How long did that take you to act out? Was it all sort of one take, or did you have a few bloopers in there?
Heaps. I was an MIQ, bro. So it was pretty crack up. I was kind of in a rush because New Zealand Rugby wanted to announce it. Hurricanes wanted to announce it. But I wanted to announce it first. So I had to shoot all the content, and I gave it to some of the boys to edit up. So a few takes, mate. A few sweats, but it was all good.
So good. It was worth it. One of the best watches you'll see if you haven't seen it already. Go and watch that. So good. Also, a little bit about the agents. Do you think players can sort of jump into that role more often? Do you think more players should be their own agent? And do you think even the young guys should be able to get into this?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jabba. Like, I don't know about the young fellas because obviously they need that help and guidance around that. But I think it's all up to the individual around it. Like since I released that video, I have guys that are at super or ITM level that have said that they've just negotiated their own deals as well. So that's awesome to hear, but just all depends on the timing. But what I do encourage is players being more aware of what goes into the contract so they can question and challenge the agents around that, instead of just the agent going, mate, this is a great offer, great deal, and you're like, cool, and then just sign the dot. But actually doing a bit of homework and understanding it, that can go a long way.
100%. I hear so often from players that they're not happy with their agent and stories like that. Some guys don't even know what they're paying them, things like that. And you're just like, you got to sort of educate yourself around this and sort of look after yourself first, eh?
100%, bro. 100%. And it's like you have a contract and then you get another contract and it's like it doesn't even involve that much work, but agents still get a cut from it. So it's like, you know, it's asking the agent and challenging that, you know.
And another space around the whole agent space is the NFT space, which is obviously growing a lot. It's going to be a huge part of, I think, rugby agents' work going forward in the future. Where are you at with your NFT? Have you got one coming? I reckon if my money's on one, someone to drop it first, it's you.
Yeah, well, I actually signed with a company called Humble, who's an American-based company that are like a Web3 platform. And it was initially like let's do it first, but as the whole NFT space has just kind of like come out, there's a lot more to it than than just bringing it out and making sure it's a cash grab. Like talking to like DC and that, like you want to build community and be smart around what you bring out. So I'm in the process of trying to work towards something and bringing something out for the fans and for the collectors out there that love footy. It's just I don't have a timeline yet, but yeah, it should be pretty cool, bro. And like you say, NFTs are the new space right now, man, and crypto. So yeah, it's pretty buzzy.
Mate, that's exciting. And what you talked about your community, but one thing you've done really well is build a really good community around your profile as an athlete. You've done things like preseason camps. You've gone for walks with your fans. You've obviously got your clothing company, which is hissing, and your podcast. All these things have sort of developed the community that you've created. So NFT would just be an extension of that for you, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, all the things that like that community walk, the training camp, you know, when you do like giveaways for signed rugby jersey, training gear, NFTs just become like a ticket to all those things. So like I could release, say, 2 one-of-one NFTs, and whoever owns that gets one of my All Blacks playing jerseys that year and my All Blacks playing boots, you know, and that smart contract or those real life collectibles will last for years. Just adding little things, real life objects to the NFTs, experiences. I think that's where I'm trying to kind of head towards. It's just a matter of how much time I have in terms of doing, like, if it's a one-on-one coaching or something like that.
Yeah, mate, that's the space. That's definitely the space it's going to go. And mate, your one would be worth the most, what you do, some of those sessions. Oh, I'd love to be able to go on one of those. So the Ardie Savea gold NFT, geez, that will be going for megabucks.
Oh, yeah, $1.
And you're obviously just back from your tour. All the guys I've spoken to so far had no family. They were just out there loving life on the golf course. So, mate, how hard was it for you with your lovely wife and 2 kids?
Yeah, like at the start, bro, it was like hard, like a lot of anxiety and just the unknown. Like we left the country and the country was a level 4. Yeah. So, you know, like you could imagine, you know, leaving your wife and the kids in their own house locked down. But as the time went on tour, it wasn't too bad. You FaceTime the family, but I think there's a lot of stuff going on tour that kind of keeps your mind ticking over. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it, bro. I look back, bro, and it was probably the best thing that could happen for an All Blacks team, being away for 15 weeks and building the connections and just like around that, the lads just making up fun. You know, the Albies and Geordies, playing golf and stuff like that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And there were times where it's tough, but having the lads around really helped.
Did you get out on the course for a hit?
Bro, terrible, bro. Nah, I haven't yet. I think I'm going to start with the basics and just play in the Miramar course with Geordie. Just get a few lessons first, bro.
Yeah, it's a mini part.
Yeah, start beginner level, bro.
But your form on tour was, as always, exceptional, mate. Some of the performances you put in were like always world class. You even had the opportunity to lead the All Blacks. What was that experience like?
Yeah, man, it was probably one of my highlights in my career so far, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, massive year when I look back at it, bro. It caught me off guard, bro. I was blinded by it, like there's guys in the team that I really, really respect in a high regard. And so I thought like I didn't even think about it. I was just like, yeah, let's go. And then got pulled aside and shat my pants, bro. Like it's like shaking, bro. But no, it was pretty awesome experience. I learned a lot, bro, around leadership and how to kind of try and run a team and the boys. Bro, I'm grateful I had Baz and Guz and TJ and Codes and Albs just around me, bro. They were awesome. But yeah, it was a cool experience, bro. Really enjoyed it. Pretty scary at times, but yeah, it was cool.
What was that conversation like? Did they ask you if you want to be captain, or did they just tell you that you're going to be captain?
Yeah, he pretty much he goes, "Oh, I want you to captain the side."
Yeah,
pulled me aside, but I literally thought I was in trouble. Like I got a text going, "I need to catch up with you." But I was thinking in my head, "Oh shit, what have I done?" Thinking, and he was like, "Yeah," took me outside where the pool was and just kind of sat me down and yeah, he said they wanted me to skip the side.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say no. You can't say no
to
that, So, yeah, that was pretty awesome, bro. I just grateful as.
Yeah. And what's it like? How's your week changed being the captain? And what sort of changes? Does much change?
Yeah, bro.
Does it?
Mentally, yeah.
Yeah.
When you rock up, when you rock up and you're just the player, you can just worry about yourself, getting yourself ready, nailing your role and whatnot. When you're the leader, like you look across like the whole team, making sure everything's functioning, like driving your leaders and what messages you want, and I struggled at that, because I struggle having those hard, conversations. So just driving the team. So a lot changes around that, bro. Which is something I wasn't used to, even at drivers meetings, around the game and the IQ around that. It was real new to me. So, and that's where Baz kind of stepped in and took over because that's his forte. And yeah, bro, it was a great learning experience, bro. And I'm just lucky I had those guys next to me.
Did anything change when you're on the field, or was it just once you're out on the field, it's business as usual?
Yeah, a lot I learned, bro. Obviously, with myself, penalty, yeah, go for the corner, let's jam some tries. But in test footy, bro, it's small margins, so
yeah,
just the decisions around the 3 points and going for the 5 points, understanding the game and how to close out games and talking to the ref. Yeah, a lot of that's different, but it wasn't really a burden for me. I just embraced it kind of thing and just went along with it.
So on those penalties, is that decision the captains or the coaches send down a message, or is it the game drivers?
Oh, it's a mixture of both, but eventually the captain kind of has the final say. So yeah, it's a mixture of both, bro. Sometimes I look to Baz or I look to Geordie because he can kick 70 meters. I'll be like, mate, you got it? And he's like, yeah, got it. So it's a mixture of both, brother.
Yeah. And your form, I spoke about before, but your form was, as always, outstanding. You've just been nominated for New Zealand Player of the Year, probably for the fifth time in a row or something. What do you put your form down to?
I don't know, man. I think I'm quite a simple man.
Yeah.
So I try and keep things real simple for me. And when things are simple and I know what to do and my role's nailed, then I just trust my instincts and just go out there and jam. And just play. So at the moment, that's been working for me. Next year, it may look different. It might have to evolve or change. But yeah, so far, that's kind of the formula that I've kind of been sticking to is keeping things simple in my week, which allows me to just go out there and express myself. Yeah,
and what about your mindset in a carry? Because one thing that you've always been known for is your leg drive, your inability to be tackled. You just keep fighting for every inch when you've got that ball. So what is it? What is your mindset when you are carrying that ball?
To be honest, Trevor, I don't even know myself, bro. I just get it, and try to run as hard as I can, and you know, if guys can tackle me down, that's awesome. But I just try and go until I get tackled.
Yeah.
I think it's always been in me since I was little, bro. Like I was one of the smaller flankers growing up, still considered as a small flanker. So like I just kind of embedded that like mongrel in me that I want to prove people wrong. And I think I've just carried that through right through my teenage years to now. So it's yeah, so that's really kind of where I put it on.
Mate, I love it. I love watching you carry the ball. You just never go down. It was complete opposite to me. As soon as I was touched, I was trying to place the ball long.
No, you're more you're more like silky, just through the gadgets.
But you talked about being a little fella and when you're growing up. So give us a little bit more of a rundown on your life growing up. Obviously, you had your big brother who was a superstar through the grades. So how was it living with him and your family in Wellington?
Yeah, but it was like materially, like didn't have much, but with the love and like the care and, you know, family having each other's back, I was like, we were real rich in that space. So it was only 4 of us, me, Jules, and mum and dad. Small family. But yeah, growing up, bro, was awesome. Like we had heaps of cousins. Every Sundays would be at the park playing cricket, basketball, tennis, the whole lot. But yeah, growing up, obviously, Bus kind of paved the way for me in terms of like the rugby side. The size he is now was the size he was when he was 13, bro. So
right. I remember.
He was
Wrong at Ty Nelson college games, man. He was a nightmare.
Oh yeah. So it was awesome, bro. Like, and grew up there. And probably one thing that kind of did have an effect on me, like a little bit, was obviously living in the shadow and playing in the shadow. Like I was the smallest guy, and people just thought, oh, that's Julian's brother. He's going to be this amazing freak. But I was just like this little scrawny, skinny kid that kind of didn't have the freakish abilities.
Yeah.
Which I think kind of, that's where I instilled like I'm going to work hard and prove people wrong. And I think that's where it stemmed. But bro, the upbringing was awesome, bro. Like rich in love, and owed pretty much everything that we have being blessed to our parents and the things they did when we were young and getting us to games and sacrificing a lot, bro.
So did you always think that you were going to be able to become a professional rugby player as like Jules?
It's weird, bro, because I was always in the rugby system. So like I was like, yeah, never really thought professionally. It wasn't until my last year of college, you know, making schools and stuff, like you'll be like, oh, yo, that could be a thing or two, but kind of never really believed it until it happened, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like always have that doubt, but when it happens, it was like, oh shit, okay, here I go.
And that first step was with New Zealand Sevens, is that right?
Yeah, bro. Out of school into the Sevens set up with Titchy. With Titch, mate, you know what? Oh shit. That was tough. But you know, my first plane ride, bro, was when I was 18 out of college and went with Sevens. So yeah, traveling to like around the world, bro, at 18 was pretty special. And yeah, from then on, my career just kicked off, bro.
How did you find it being in that camp? Like, obviously, there's a good group of lads in that camp at the time, eh? So, how did you find that?
Bro, I loved it, eh? Like, you know, when you grow up and you think like the professional rugby environment is like these like top athletes, like they're just like,
yeah,
they're like, you know, kings. And then you get to know them just like ordinary dudes that like to have a laugh, play pranks, you know, like flip the rooms and stuff like that. So, but it was pretty eye-opening and pretty humbling to be around like Tomasi Thama and DJ Forbes, you know, all those guys. It was pretty cool, man. Did
the guys ever prank you? I couldn't imagine the guys pranking you too bad. Too much respect.
No, yeah. Obviously when you're young, mate, they don't care. You're first year. But yeah, you know, when they flip the rooms, they get your room key, and they flip the rooms.
Yeah.
Or they throw the sheet over you and beat you
blanket,
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blanket. Yeah. But I got that, mate.
Did you? Oh, true.
Yeah. Good games, bro.
Yeah, good times. So then, why did the Sevens stop? Was that because of Super Rugby?
Yeah, so obviously Sevens, and then made the Lions that following year, and then I think played my first year Lions, and then got a Canes contract. And obviously, like back then, like Sevens was like a stepping stone for guys to kick their 15s career off. So yeah, Sevens just kind of stopped once I made the Lions in the 15s game, and I loved Sevens, bro, because like that's where I kind of learned how to like just play in the wide channels, like try to do the goosies and the steps and the long scucky passes.
And
You learn all
dummies.
those, yeah, and you learn all those kind of skill sets, bro, and it just becomes naturally part of your game.
Mm.
So I really loved that about the Sevens, but yeah, kind of stopped when I made pro footy in the 15s game.
And what was it like going into those setups in Wellington, the first Wellington Lions and then the Hurricanes?
Yeah, but shitting my pants too, like rubbing shoulders with guys that I was watching on TV the year before. That was pretty special, bro. Like for me, it was all around like just putting my head down and earning the respect of the older guys, and that was mainly through action. So I hardly spoke, bro. Like I just zoop and just like earn the respect through mahi and my training and how I go about my work.
Oh, you definitely did that. Was it the end of your first season with the Hurricanes where you got called in to be an apprentice for the All Blacks, the first ever?
Yeah, I think 213. Yeah, 213.
How was that being called in as an apprentice? And what was it like traveling with the All Blacks, knowing you're not going to play at such a young age?
Yeah, bro. It was pretty funny story. How you hear guys that get the first phone call that they've made the All Blacks.
Yeah.
For me, bro, it was different because that apprentice year, I was with SAS and we are just chilling, and I got a random phone call, and it was like, "Hey, it's Darren Shan here from the All Blacks," and I was like, because Jules was saying like you get a call if you made the team, so I was like, I've made it. I answered, I was like, "Oh yes, Darren, it's Art," and he's like, "Mate, I just want to say you didn't make the All Blacks. You haven't made the squad," and I was like, "What the hell?" And then he was like, "Oh, but we want to take you on apprentice. So you're officially not in the squad, but you're a part of the team."
Yeah.
So that was like an anticlimax kind of way.
Yeah.
And then 2016, obviously we won the super title, the SAS Jab. And there'd been a lot of talk around me making the AB. So I was kind of like predicted. So when my name got announced, it was kind of like a yay, but not as like a massive announcement. But
it would have been more like a finally for you, because I mean it was 3 years after, and probably should have made that side all 3 years post that apprentice year. Did you feel?
Nah, looking back, bro, I was probably too young, and my body physically probably wasn't ready in that space. And like, when you're young, you believe the media hype that you should, and there was a lot of talk. But looking back at it, bro, I'm grateful that I had that time to kind of develop as a flanker and mentally as well. But yeah, that apprentice year was awesome, bro. Like, again, I'm rubbing shoulders with Richie McCaw and Kieran Reid.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, like, I was lucky I had Bus there, when you have the older bro in the team, like you just naturally fall into, like, you hang out with him and Ma'a and Victor, the brothers.
Yeah.
So that was cool, man. Like, I remember going on tour and Steve Hansen was just like, "Son, I just want you to not have any expectation. Just come here, enjoy yourself. Like, just experience the environment." And literally that's what I did. Just experienced it, bro. And was like a sponge. Enjoyed the after games, enjoyed the fun and the beers with the lads. Got to see how some of the boys,
see what they're really like.
Yeah, but honestly, I sat in the room and I was like, "Oh, like I thought the All Blacks boys, like, which they are, but I thought it was just like
yeah, serious.
Not lay your hair down. They're serious, but seeing that was pretty eye opening, and yeah, the whole experience was cool, bro.
Mate, that's cool. One thing you spoke about before about when you first started, you wouldn't say a word. You just sort of sat in the back of the meetings and you wouldn't really contribute. But mate, one thing that I've noticed, which was awesome to watch throughout your career, was just the growth of you as a leader, as a contributor, and now your growth. Although it probably wasn't natural to be a speaker. Look at you now, you're comfortable on podcasts, you host your own podcast, you're doing all these things now. So what switched for you to make that transition?
Bro, to be honest, man, like, I still struggle with it now. Like I mean, with one-on-one stuff, like, I find it easy, small groups easy. But if I was to stand up, like, I've better this year and the last couple of years, but bro, I still kind of get like, I'm scared, like, and to talk. But I think the massive shift, I feel way more comfortable is when I captained the All Blacks and captained the Canes. Like I was kind of like forced that I had to because I was in this leadership position. So I had to step up and I had to lead. And bro, once I did that, I just realized like, oh, it's not that bad after all. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but still, I still believe in less talking and try and do the talking through action. And I feel like that's the best way to try and earn respect. So yeah, I think that was the massive switches being put into that leadership role. And obviously when you're a leader, you have to step up and lead, and that's through like talking and stuff. So that was kind of the switch, because I was naturally, like you said, I'll just chill, won't say anything and just go about my mahi. But like, I think at this part of my career, I think it's time to just step up and lead.
Mate, I think everyone still gets pretty nervous when they have to speak in front of groups and things like that. But like you say, it is the more reps you do at something, the more comfortable you get at it. And it's just putting yourself out there initially. I know probably a little bit of fault of my own, but back in the day, the Canes had a lot of banter around guys who would stuff up and things like that. So probably never helped encourage these guys to speak up, to be fair as well.
Nah. Yours different though. We're just going to have a laugh, and there was no like malice to it, bro. Sometimes you sit on the Canes bus going, please, I'm not on this info committee, bro.
Thankfully, Plum would usually be the one who would give us all the material.
Easy targets, Easy targets.
Yeah. And talk to me a little bit more about your Canes career. You obviously incredibly successful times at the Canes. I think you've won Player of the Year pretty much every year you've played. Championship, 2016, you've touched on. 2015 loss. Mate, talk to me about your Hurricanes times.
Man, bro, like, love the club, love the brothers in the team. Created lifelong friendships through just playing with the Canes, man. So it's been pretty special. I guess, obviously, to have Bus there as well, that's even more special. And then he left and then come back, and he's back in the team. So, yeah, it's pretty unreal. But, yeah, the Canes journey has been awesome, bro. I came into the team and probably around similar time with you, Jabba, and we were quite lucky to have, like, I was lucky in the Lucy's to have, like, Jack Labb, Faifili Lavavi, Victor Vito, Cully Gibbons, Brad Shields, like Blade, like, bro, awesome guys, awesome rugby players, and was able to just learn off them, bro. And then they kind of left, and then that's where we kind of came through. But the journey's been awesome, bro. Still having Cozy and seeing the likes of like Geordie starting to step up, and, you know, his team now to lead, and all the young fellas coming through, bro. It's pretty cool to see. And, you know, having Petty back, it's even better too. So, yeah, just excited, bro. Still pinch myself every time I put the jersey on. And
you've seen the squads. The squads have all been named. Are you happy with what the Hurricanes squad looks like?
Yeah, 100, bro. Like a mixture of like older senior players. Then you have a little bit of experienced players, and then we've got some mean-ass young talent coming through, bro. That honestly, there's some freakish guys, fast, strong. It's pretty nerve-wracking to see, but keeps everyone on their toes, bro.
That's why you signed for 4 years.
You can't get rid of me now.
Who's really impressed you? Who do you think's the next big gun?
Oh, bro, from the Canes, like, there's a few, bro. Like, just from the top of my head, like Devin Flanders.
Yeah.
But he's a beast. Braden Wiste from Manawatu. You know, the likes of Ruben Love. Those young brothers coming through is pretty awesome. And yeah, those three, and Billy Prox. Yeah, unsung hero, bro. Quiet dude, but just like I said, like, just goes about as a mahi. Yeah. And, you know, I love that, bro.
Yeah, well, good. Looking forward to the year from the Canes. Hopefully we can get another championship sorted. But one thing that happened in your career was when you withdrew from the Olympics, one big decision in your career. Talk to me about that one and how hard that decision was.
Yeah. So it's, like, you know, obviously I wanted to go to the Olympics, had to play 4 tournaments, and then I played in that Wellington Sydney one. Yeah, so, you know, that was the goal, bro. Like, you know, had Sunny, Rico, Aki, the brothers. I was like, okay, we'll all go. And it got to those 2 tournaments, bro, and Titch was only putting me on for like 30 seconds, a minute each game.
Yeah.
But like those 4 tournaments was meant for me to get game time and get the flow going. So I was like in Wellington getting like 30 seconds a game. To Sydney, still coming off the bench. And I was like, like I love the brothers, but like, you know, I came here to like, you know, make a stamp. And but at the time that I came back to the Canes after Wellington, Sydney, obviously that was in 2016, bro. So our team was hissing, playing mean. I happened to be playing pretty good. And then I just kind of asked my agent, like, bro, I'd like to just play 15s and stay. And then I made that decision, bro. They were trying to get me to stay, but I didn't want to like, come on for a minute each game, you know, and obviously the Canes was going well, so I decided to stick around, and luckily I did, bro, because we won the ship that year. And it was an awesome year, bro. So yeah, that's how I came about my decision and why I kind of chose to stay with the 15s game.
True, it's interesting. So there's no pressure from the New Zealand Rugby Union or promises from the All Blacks. That was just all.
That's just all like perception. But like, I heard nothing. I just wanted to stay with the Canes because we were playing mean and I was really enjoying my footy.
Yeah. But like you say, your decision did pay off because then you did make the All Blacks and going into the environment then. What was it like?
Yeah, bro. It was pretty awesome, bro. I think it was me, Elliot Dixon, and Liam Squire all coming in as newbies. So that was cool, bro. Like I did with the Canes, bro, just a sponge, quiet, just try to earn the respect of the brothers just through what I do. So yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Yeah, I guess you've heard around the meetings that we go into, like you sit there like shaking because you don't know if he's going to ask you to speak or questions like that. So
is it still like that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. You know, through reviews and stuff, you know, the boys getting asked questions and stuff like that. I think for me, I've gotten better because I've been in the team for a little bit now. So I'm used to, you know, so, but as a young fella, you're like, not looking at him, please don't ask me.
What was the hardest thing about the transition to becoming an All Black from Super Rugby?
I think the hardest thing back then, if I'm really honest, bro, was obviously at the Canes, it was more free flowing around the game structure.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we were able to just jab, you know, like give the ball 101s, where the ABs, like as a Lucy, it was just like at that time, it was around just cleaning rucks.
Yeah.
And that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love cleaning rucks and it's part of my job, but I wasn't able to do the stuff that I was good at. So that was the hardest transition and trying to like change my game to fit a certain mold.
Yeah.
So I think looking back, like that was probably the hardest kind of thing for me in the transition around that.
Is that just because it was so structured, the game plan that you were trying to play?
Yeah, well, like you look at the All Blacks, always the 7 jersey was pretty much based around like the GOAT, Richie, and you know, and then you have someone like me who's trying to do scucky long balls or step whack, you know, and you get told, mate, cut that out, just clean rucks. You know, so looking back, bro, like actually doing that stuff really helped my game because I was able to like get really good at the basic stuff, like you know, that the little stuff that matters. But yeah, it was hard at first to kind of get used to that.
So now the role is suited around your style of play?
Oh, probably not. It's way more, the structure is way more, still the same actually. Still the same. I don't even know what I'm saying. But like, it feels like there's a bit more kind of freedom to express yourself within the game plan, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Nice. And talk to me about the Rugby World Cup, a huge moment going to the Rugby World Cup, obviously a dream of yours to represent the All Blacks at a Rugby World Cup. How was that experience?
Well, it was pretty, like, you know, there's a lot of hype around it, talk around it. But when you're actually in it, bro, like it kind of just feels like another kind of game. Like you kind of, the mindset's like, you don't try and build that hype in your head. But the experience, bro, being in Japan, you couldn't even walk out the door of the hotel because it was just packed. Yeah, like just the whole atmosphere was unreal, bro. Especially in Japan, they love their footy, like true fans over there. But yeah, in terms of the games, it was just like the mindset was like it's another game. week by week, and that was it. And once we reached like the quarters, and you know, it was just each game's a final, and obviously it was pretty shit that we lost the semis to England, but luckily enough we get to go again in 23, and hopefully, you know, we make the squad and try and rectify it again, bro.
100%. And one thing that happened was you ripped the goggles first time wearing the goggles. One of the coolest things that I've seen on the rugby field for a while. I remember watching that game I was at the stadium when you wore them, and I just remember seeing guys like pull on them and like slap it across the back of your head. And I was like, oh, that doesn't look good.
Bro. Oh, but after I wore them, and then the next week I did it, bro, all my boys were like, don't ever be the biggest build-ups. I was like, but yeah, but when I wore them, like, it was the worst place to try them out because of the humidity in Japan. Like, it was crazy. And then I wore them in the game, and because like I was like doubting it. I was, oh shit, what are people gonna think? But like the boys are, nah, it's good. But as soon as, bro, I was like over, like just bridging over a rock, the Namibia dude grabbed it, bro, just like pulled it, and I looked up, and he was just like smiled at me, bro, like just ran off, and like I was like, fuck, these guys are messing with my head. So that's how I took it off, bro, and just threw it.
Oh, it's so funny, so good. So then they're not going to make a comeback.
If they find a way where it can stay on your head and it's like comfortable in the contact area, but I'd wear them like to protect my eye. But at the moment, like with just the strap, it's just real easy to like just move around. Like you're playing and your face is like like scrunched up.
Oh, so good. Did you think about trialing them before the World Cup? Was that ever a thought, or did you think it was going to be all good to just wear it at the World Cup?
Well, I didn't know about the goggles until like the pool games in the World Cup.
Yeah,
because I was just like, I knew I had problems with my left eye.
Yeah,
and it wasn't until World Cup I was like doing this to my eyes, and I realized that this was real blind. Like I can't see. Like you go all blurry when I see you. Then I just happened to, bro, open my mouth to Doc. And then Doc was like, went all serious and was like, all this research. And I was like, mate, you need to wear these goggles. Because pretty much like my left eye, it can't get any better. So if I get a knock to this eye, I could potentially be blind.
True.
So that was what he was saying. He's like, bro, you got to protect it. And I was like, mate, I've been playing like this all good. He's like, no, you got to wear it, try it. And then he spoke to Steve. And Steve was like, son, you know, you got to wear this. It's a great example for young players and a lot of the people you inspire. Yeah. So as soon as he said that, I was like, okay, for the people. And then wore it. Then wore it, bro. Yeah, so tried them and didn't work out as well as I would like. But if there were better ones, definitely, bro. Definitely try it. Did
your left eye get damaged from an incident in rugby?
It's from rubbing too much. So my cornea, it's like scratched. So like you think of a windscreen and there's like a crack in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. So it's from like, because you know how you get hay fever bad?
Yeah.
You probably heard me in meetings like sniffing my nose and stuff. And it's from rubbing my eyes.
True.
And I just scratched it. Yeah.
Too strong. There is cons to being super strong.
Yeah.
But off the rugby field, obviously, there was a time where you did decide that it was time to did you consciously decide that it was time to grow your brand when you started to bring out the podcast and the clothing brand? How did that sort of come about?
Yeah, it's real weird, bro. Like, I remember starting Sevens and Instagram just came out.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, I was like, oh, I'll just contract, post a photo. And organically throughout my career, bro, as Instagram got bigger, my career just kind of went from Sevens, Lions, Canes. So it just kind of I just slowly built like organically without even knowing that brand. And I kind of, the podcast wasn't around like building my brand. It was more around probably the same as you, Jabba, around like just having a space where athletes can come and actually be themselves and talk around stories to fans. Instead of going to media that kind of write and twist the words a little bit.
Yeah.
But like starting the podcast just in turn happened to build the brand without even knowing. The clothing side of things, bro, it was more like I like was watching Kanye West and his Yeezy brand and was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I might start my own brand. And I thought I was pretty gangster, when I was 18. So started that more so because I just wanted to own my own kind of thing.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was like a business at the time.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to like be in control of something. And then without even knowing, that kind of just grew as I grew throughout my career and as a man and just learning about business. So like it wasn't necessary, the reason wasn't necessary to start to build the personal brand. It was just like to do it because out of my interest. And the result of that was just around like my brand just organically kind of grew, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, eh? So how does your clothing brand work now when you're on tour and stuff? Who runs the ship? Is that all your wife?
Yeah. Yes. So I do all the creative stuff, like the designing. I try and draw it and then put it into digital form, and then get it all sent over. And then SAS does all the logistical side, like so the emails, the making sure, all the little niggly stuff that sometimes we don't like to do. Emails, she does that, and I do the creative side. She does the comms and all that. And while I'm on tour, bro, it's easy for me just to at nighttime just sit there and just like write ideas, draw ideas. So that's pretty much how it works, bro. Nice and simple. Still trying to learn how to grow and scale it. But all in good time.
What's been the hardest thing about running your own business?
I reckon for me right now, bro, is learning how to like scale it. Like we're in a position where our stuff goes pretty quick, which is cool. But then it's like, what's next? How can we scale it bigger so it grows and the brand grows? That's probably the hardest thing at the moment is like we're just making stuff, like deciding on we'll do this hoodie or like 5 hoodies and this, but financially, is it the right thing in terms of investing it, stuff like that, bro? So just challenging is still understanding that. I think over the summer we'll have time to kind of talk to the right people and hopefully learn and grow.
Is it just you and your wife working for you?
Nah, we have Joseph, who's one of the Usos that run Uncommon. We store all our stuff there, and then he kind of does all like the middle stuff that we miss. So he's crucial to us too, bro. And he helps me kind of do the designs as well.
Mate, that's exciting. Looking forward to seeing it scale and grow to be the empire it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully, bro. Hopefully, all good if it doesn't.
Another thing you've been big on throughout your rugby career is you've been a big advocate for mental health. You've always been open to sharing your stories, giving other people a platform to share theirs. What's been the biggest learnings throughout your rugby career around mental health? Any sort of advice?
I don't know if it's advice, but like what kind of works for me is I like to just do stuff that makes me happy. In terms of finding what that is just trying different things that you're interested in. And if you get that feeling of like, man, this is awesome, and then do more of it and do less of the things that upset you or puts you in a shit mood. So that's like one of the things that I do. So one thing I love to do, bro, is coffee connects, like going to cafes and these, texting the lads to go for coffee. That's pretty cool. You're able to just sit there, talk, nothing about rugby. But yeah, I think a big thing for me, bro, is at this stage is like getting myself right and making sure my family's happy and everything's all good. Because if that's like when that's sorted, bro, I'm able to do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And in a good manner, yeah.
That's so true. And how is the family? How are your beautiful kids now?
Yeah, they're good, bro. Like my son's turned 1 in October, just started walking like last week.
Yeah.
So, I watched that over FaceTime. Like my she's growing older. Her birthday's in December. But yeah, the kids are getting older, bro. And yeah, seeing them tomorrow. So I'm holding up, bro. I'm holding out.
Mate, they're going to be stoked to have their dad back.
Yeah.
And what are your plans going forward? You obviously signed with New Zealand Rugby Union for 4 years. Plans on and off the field? What have you got?
Man, I obviously is to keep fit over the summer, but obviously the ultimate goal is to be available and play for the Canes, win a championship with them, with the brothers, and then obviously make the All Blacks and just have a powerful year in a positive way, bro. That's kind of my goal. And then off field, bro, is just to keep working at making sure my family's all good and I'm all good, and then just keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully create a gateway for players and people just to navigate. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to do, bro. Sometimes it's a bad thing because there's too much stuff on my table, but still learning, bro.
You are such a lad. Just hearing those goals gets me excited. Anyway, mate, we've gone to our Instagram for some question as always. And wow, the man himself, when he comes on, brings in plenty of questions. We got heaps. First question.
Are you sure?
I do say that to everyone, but mate, you, All Black legend, you have actually got heaps. I've just chosen about 10. Will the Pirates ever win the mini team tournament?
100%. 100%.
This is their year. Chrono sent that one, and he's obviously sick of seeing the Pirates struggle in the mini team comp at the Canes.
Chrono rigs the mini team challenges. He rigs it.
Too many quizzes for the Pirates, he reckons.
Too many.
Okay, what leaders have been an inspiration to your leadership style?
I'd say Colsey. He's a man with few words.
Yeah.
And just goes hard and leads by action. And another one is Paddy Toops.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love the way he's, again, just quiet but goes about his work. And the probably biggest one was Kieran Reid, just around how he operated under pressure and how he delivered messages. That was pretty cool.
Mate, nice. 3 good options there. Okay, any tips for crypto?
Bro, to be honest, bro, I've just started investing like 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, true, yeah.
But yeah, funny, man. Like TJ was telling us to do it 15 weeks ago, but like, you know, that kind of feeling of nah. Then obviously, yeah. I didn't probably have any advice, man. I just kind of invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum at the moment. Yeah. And just kind of been putting in like a small amount that I'm comfortable with once a week, and just kind of let it see where it goes.
Nice.
Yeah. Not an expert. I think the best person to ask would be TJ. He's a guru at the moment.
He loves it, eh? He was right into it over in Japan.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, next one. If you could choose one player to come across to the Canes, who would it be?
From a super team?
Anywhere.
But I'd go just because I just seen his highlights and he looks like a beast. Josh Tuisova.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On the wing, jeez.
Yeah. Here you go, mate. Go do your work.
Yeah. Mate, he is a beast, eh? He's not very tall, eh? Just built absolute.
Yeah. I've never seen him before. Bro. But obviously, Bus played with him. And when I hear Bus saying he's the real Bus, he's a real Bus, so must mean something.
Yeah, shit, yeah. Okay, next one. Who would be the last man standing in an MMA battle in the All Blacks?
Ooh. Damn. It'll be one of the front rowers. I'd take it. Shucks.
Surely.
But I don't know.
Surely
I don't know.
You'd have a mean chokeout.
Nah, bro.
I remember those wrestling sessions in pre-season. You were good.
No way. I'm just a boxer. Nah, MMA. Probably Nipple.
Oh yeah,
Nipple,
just so strong.
Yeah, Aki because he's tall and got the long reach. Yeah,
nice. Okay, next one. How many people have fallen for the dummy?
Every single one of them. I can't count.
What's the story behind the dummy?
Oh mate, I've been doing that since I was at first 15. Yeah, at school, and it's funny because Salisi, he always gives me shit about it because obviously he used to watch me at school and he's like, bro, he's seen it. But yeah, people don't understand like the reasoning why I do it. But yeah, I reckon people fall for it. People fall for it.
When you say the reasoning for you do it, what is that?
Yeah. So like, even though I dummy and people don't do that one, then like it's a huge gap. For me, it's like when I dummy, it creates that like split second pause. Even if they don't go, it creates them to go bang. And that's all I need for them to go bang, and then I'm able to try and go and attack a weak shoulder.
There we go. That'll clarify it for the listeners, eh? Everyone's expecting someone to go chasing it with their eyes, eh?
Now I'm going to do it. Someone's just going to go bang, smash me down.
Okay, next question. How loose was it partying with the Panthers after the premiership?
Yeah, but they had been on, like, that was like their 4th day celebrating, so they were quite like mellow, just chilling out. But yeah, our lads were like excited. They went hard. Me and Teach went drinking. We drove the van.
Oh yeah,
because they're about an hour away or half an hour away from us. So our lads were like pumping, going hard because we had the week off.
Yeah.
But the Panthers boys were quite just like, when you're on the 4th day on the piss and
yeah.
So they were they weren't too bad actually.
Yeah. And did you manage to have a conversation with any of them? Did you manage to get to meet many of those guys?
Yeah, heaps, bro. It was crazy, bro. Like, in how in awe they were of the All Blacks, and how a lot of their stuff they based it off the All Blacks, and we were like pretty much saying the same. Like, we like admire you guys and what you guys are doing, and them, like, when they celebrate their try scoring, and like real authentic. So it was pretty cool, bro. And like, again, just like normal dudes, just like us.
Yeah,
that just happened to be gangster on the field.
Yeah, that's it. It's crazy. Yeah. You've obviously shut the gate on playing NRL now. It was something that you were looking at for a while there. How do you feel about that situation?
Yeah, bro. Like, obviously, like in 2019, like post 2019, it kind of came across my mind to give it a crack. Just something different and freshen up. But then I got injured in World Cup, and it took me out for the season. So that was kind of scratched. And then my mindset just shifted to just playing footy and playing rugby. But I always had wanted to, and like kind of that reason was to kind of represent the Tour Samoa, because obviously the eligibility rules are different in league. So that was kind of the whole reasoning, and also just trying league and giving it a crack.
Well, that goes on to the next question a little bit, is thoughts on Jules playing for Samoa. So I'm guessing you've shut the gate on playing for Samoa now too, with this 4-year deal pretty much. But Jules has still got the option to give it a go.
Yeah. I haven't really spoken to him about it, but he would probably say the same thing. Like, if he was good enough and he was playing good footy to represent the blue jersey, then that'd be an option. But yeah, I'm not too sure what the bro wants to do. It makes sense to go and try and play, but I'm not too sure. In regards to myself, bro, I'm signed till 25. You never know. I guess if the stand down of 3 years changes to less, potentially, but stick around in New Zealand for a bit.
But you've sort of mentioned Moana Pacifica at the start. Is that something that really interests you to make that switch to that side?
Yeah, or like, that's why I had that clause in my Super Rugby contract, was just to keep my options open. Not saying I'll go. I love the Canes, but it was just to keep my options open, and if it was the right time, then potentially would, and just go, and play my part, and if I was good enough. But it's more to, it's an option. It's an option. Yeah.
If you were good enough, of course you're good enough.
You never know. You never know what happens in a year or two.
That's it.
Jabba. Yeah.
Okay, last question. Ardie Savea's best advice.
Best advice. Holy shit.
This will be good, mate. You're an inspiring man.
I'm going to say it, but I kind of got it from one of the brothers that kind of told it to me, and it kind of like inspired me. It was, be unapologetically you. If people don't like it, then they don't like it. If they vibe with you, they vibe with you. But Rico said that to me, and I really like. I was like, yeah, I like that. So that's one advice.
You live by that too.
Yeah, just try and be me, bro. And
that would look cool on one of your t-shirts too. Actually, I like that one.
Yeah, I've just got to run it past Reeks and how much percentage he wants from it from the sales.
Mate, he's too busy invested in that dodgy DVD store that we pranked him on.
Yeah, 100.
Oh, mate, absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. Stoked to be able to get you on and go through your journey, mate. You're an absolute legend. Someone I love playing with, someone who's inspired me so much throughout my footy career and post-footy career as well. So, mate, it's awesome to have you on. And you're still right at the top of your game with a huge future ahead. So, mate, really appreciate you coming on the podcast and giving up your time.
Thanks, Jabba. Appreciate you, my brother. Proud of you, man. Inspiring all of us too.
Mate,
What a lad.
You're a legend.
Let's go.
What a lad, what a lad, what a lad, what an absolute lad.